Okay, so we've got this short hair here. So we've got a little bit of, some parameters that we're going to have to work around. Also, a lot of the hair that you can see here, yeah, we've got all of this. So I'm thinking if we bring this to sort of like here, maybe on a slight angle, we'll see. Then we might be able to just nip off some of these front bits. So we'll add a little bit more strength through the front. And I think that will really help us with that look. And then I think what would help as well is you can see the way that the fringe on Anya actually creeps down and around. I feel like this roundness lends itself to the hair sweeping back. So I think with the fringe, if we come in with this fringe and bring that fringe really straight and add that, hey, get out of there, and add this corner like this, then that will also give that illusion of like length and a totally different look for her. So have you told your friends that you're going to cut all your hair off?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay, all right. So we're ready. Oh, yay, Lou, you made it. Yes, it's going to look amazing. So I've got a few things going around in my head at the moment. I mean, there's so many different ways that you could approach this. So maybe some different ways that you could approach it is you could start this haircut through the front because you've already got these shorter bits here. I feel like if I was going to cut it up to here, then I would start it through the front because I'd probably have to introduce a little bit of graduation up through the back. But I feel like even if this is still a little bit shorter, it's going to be better if I come and sort of do it to here. So I might start through the back. But what I could do to help the whole look and help the hair move forward and look fuller at the front is maybe introduce a little bit of graduation through the back. Now, we've done a lot of different types of graduation throughout our lockdown, but one type that we haven't really done, and I think that that would be the perfect time right now, is horizontal graduation, because horizontal graduation builds the most amount of weight because horizontal lines are really heavy. So I feel like if we establish a perimeter, and you're just going to nod and go, yes, that sounds great. If we establish that perimeter and then we introduce a little bit of elevation in a horizontal graduation formation, then that's going to add a little bit more fullness through the back and push the hair forward. But we'll see how we go. Okay. The other thing I think is because we've got this kind of layered, choppy front through here, I think if I point cut the line, then there's going to be a better harmony between the back and the front, because this is actually quite layered and choppy. So I think that by point cutting our perimeter, our line, and then point cutting our horizontal graduation, we're going to have more harmony and more balance. Yeah. So that's where my brain is at. Now, I haven't sectioned anything. Anya had some serious roadblocks that she had to get in. Roadblocks, that's it. Yeah. Hi, Emma. Hey, Shannon. Okay, so make sure we've got evenly damp hair. So we're spritzing that down. We're going to take a section through the back. Now, when you don't have a mirror in front of you, a good reference point is to just have a little feel for your client's spine, and then you can help centralize yourself down through there. So I'm going to line myself up and come down. And then we'll start through the back here. Hey, Radhika. Are you getting ready for work? I'm very, very impressed that there's actually anyone watching today, because I can't imagine how everyone's feeling. It's like such a kind of exciting, nervous, terrifying. I mean, and if you're a salon owner trying to call clients, Daniel and Lou, Alex, I don't know how you're finding time to do that. That would just maybe break me. So well done. Okay. Now I'm not going to section it all the way through to the front, but I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a part here, because I feel like one of the things that Anya's going to have to get away from as well, when you've got a mullet, there's no part. All your hair comes forward, and that's kind of the look. But when you've got a little bit more of a bob, I feel like she's going to have to grow these bits down and have more of a part that's coming from more forward rather than all the way from the back. So I'm just trying to find a little bit of a happy balance through the front here. Yeah. So just in through the top. Okay. Baby fine hair under here as well. Look. This beautiful, cutting kids' hair is the best. All right. So I'm going to section on a slight diagonal. Okay. You ready, Anya?
Yeah.
We got a very cute little video last time of the mullet, and she's like, "Goodbye, my friends," and like gave them a kiss, blew them a kiss goodbye. Maybe Auntie Louisa, if you're watching, you can take a picture. Okay, and we'll come through this side. You stay there. I'm gonna move you. There we go. So I think the grandmas will be pretty happy that we're cutting the mullet off. Don't you think? All right, so I've sectioned on a slight diagonal because we were talking about, maybe having our line on a slight diagonal. So straight away, I just think to section on a slight diagonal just to remind myself of that. So I'm going to come in through here, roll the sleeves up, Anya. I'm in business. Okay. So just make sure, see, even under here, that's kind of dried off a little bit. So really make sure that you're working with even dampness to get these shapes happening. What a big moment. Okay. So I might just come in and point cut and just freehand this first little bit, because Anya kind of has a little bit of a wave and a jump in her hair, and I'm not 100% sure how that hair is going to react when you take it all off. So for me, having no tension whatsoever is a really good thing when you're cutting that first little bit of hair off. Look at that. And that's sitting pretty well, isn't it? You can see these. Oh, hey, Mish. Anya's getting a haircut today. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to sort of bring that down, and I might point cut, but just use my comb here just to hold this hair in place. Okay. So I'll bring that down in there, and then we'll do the same through this side. So I haven't moved my body because if you want something to stay sort of balanced, it's a good idea to not be jumping around left, right, and center. If you do, you'll probably get a bit of a line that looks a bit more left, right, and center. So just this first section. So this first section is your guide. So I always take a little bit longer on this just to make sure that I'm really happy with how it's sitting, the shape of it. You also want to pop your client's head shape up before you sign off on it too. Make sure you're happy with it, because clients you see how far Anya's head was down. That's the reality of how clients sit nowadays. So you really got to make sure you check that guide with your client sitting straight, so we can have a little look at where that's sitting. Okay, so as you can see now, we've got this bit of a jump here. So I'll just bring that corner around a bit. You stay there, darling. In through there. And I think that length's going to be good. Okay, so I'm going to take my next section. I'm going to mirror that section, so it's a slight diagonal. Take this out. And how easy a school morning's going to be now, Anya. No knots. It's going to be the best. Okay. Bring that down. Now, because I'm going to continue point cutting, I'm going to cut this next section through my fingers, but I've got that guide underneath. So I'm down. Now, when I'm point cutting, what I want to do, I'm just going to spin you around, darling, is I hold the hair with my first two fingers, then I slide my third finger down and I point cut by balancing the hair on my finger. Can you see that? So this finger here acts as a shock absorber. So I cut myself a lot less and it's a lot easier for me to sort of keep the shape in check, okay? And just making sure we've got that even dampness. Bring that in there. Okay. In, down, hold it with those two fingers, release the third, and come and point cut. And just creating a softer point cut line because we've got some existing layers happening through here from Anya's gnarly mullet from lockdown 3.7 or something like that. Okay, you right, darling? All right. So yeah, this is going to be the technique. It's this fine. So you've got to make sure you've got, I mean, I can't believe the points on my scissors are surviving from cutting mannequins for so long. It's a real testament to my scissors. But yeah, you've got to have these points. Your clients can actually really feel it if you don't have the points correct on your scissors. Turn around, darling. Okay, and each time you check it, like do a little balance check on either side and then just sort of stand back as well. Make sure you're happy with how that shape's developing. And I'm going to keep going. So that was a section. The first one was on skin. The second one was through fingers. I might do one more through fingers and then I might elevate a little bit beyond that. And that's going to be the introduction of our horizontal graduation. Okay. And then that might help just push that hair forward. And then it might help with that shorter section through the front. Okay. Get this nice and clean. I really like to work with clean sections and I like to have the hair prepared because if it's all sort of sitting nicely and it's drying nicely, I don't have to re-wet it down in order to blow dry it. It's kind of drying to shape, drying to form. And that's what we would call like a wash and wear haircut. So just kind of really, okay, you comfy? Okay. What a little legend. How good's this gonna look? All right, so I'll just make sure my section looks a little uneven, but if I pick that up, it's actually okay up in there. Just bring this one down. Doesn't matter how long you've been cutting hair, always take the time to have your sections really balanced because you're only as good as your last haircut, you know? And every time you're cutting hair, you're essentially practicing. So you don't want to practice bad habits. It's like you, Anya, you got to put the capital on the sentence and then the full stop every time. Okay, head down. Okay.
Must be nice not cutting on a mannequin for a change.
It's actually lovely. It's very peaceful not cutting on a mannequin. I mean, I feel bad. Like I had someone to cut too. You know, who's going to cut their hair? We've got one more live. We've got Thursday. Who knows? Maybe we can shave Bradley's head. It could be our last hurrah. Oh, look at that. Head up. That looks beautiful. Okay. Look at those baby fine little neck hairs. Okay, so the next section, I'm going to slightly elevate. So we'll keep going. I'm going to use the same sections though, so the whole thing's working the same sections.
Alex just wrote in all caps, January has got to be up for Thursday. Just so you don't have to watch me shave.
Do anything not to watch me shave a head. Maybe I could like scissor over comb Bradley's entire head. That would probably take an hour and a half. I'll be crying, shaking in the corner by the end of it. Or maybe you will, Bradley. Okay, let's keep going. So now I'm going to introduce a little bit of elevation. Okay, and as soon as you introduce elevation to your line, you have graduated. So don't do this unless that's what you want to do. The reason I'm graduating is because graduation builds weight. Okay, so it's going to just add a little bit of weight.
Louisa says I vote SOC on Bradley.
Scissor over comb on Bradley. Is that what you'd like to see, Louisa? An hour and a half. Bradley getting scissor over comb.
You need someone with a camera.
Yes. Maybe Anya can film. Okay, so that same amount of elevation. When you're point cutting as well, and I have mentioned this before, but you know, I'm probably running out of things to mention. You're not trying to cut and point cut exactly where you point cut last time. Okay, that's not the point. So what you're trying to do is you're point cutting over what you point cut every time. So you're constantly reassessing the line. You're like drawing over the line. So it's always re-shattering it. You're not trying to exactly like interlock your point cutting together like that, because you will get longer and longer. Okay. Okay. Your head straight. Thank you. Okay, just a little bit longer here. That was Anya's fault. Okay, let's keep going. A little bit more graduation again. So a little bit more elevation. Okay, I haven't done a hot cross bun. I've only done that section down the center. So this is a very simple way to approach this haircut. Take out this one. So that section's going to flow right through, and we're going to end up taking a cross section right through into the front. Take that out of the way.
Says, you know how to make my day, Brad.
Yes, horizontal grad. Okay. So this is a great distraction for you, Lou, from all of those salon appointments that you're currently making. Okay, so this finger is honestly a great tip. You will cut yourself so much less by using this third finger and balancing on it.
Oh my God, it's bonkers.
The booking clients is bonkers. Yeah, I can't imagine. Just thinking about what to make for school lunches is enough for me. That's making me think about I'm bonkers. So the angle that you approach the hair is going to affect the end result as well. If you want more of a heavier, chunkier look, I suggest going more horizontal with your pointing. If you're wanting more of a feathered, lighter look, I suggest going more vertical. Yeah. So that the shape of your point cutting will affect the end result as well. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of water. We are coming into le mullet. Is the mullet the front or is the mullet the back? Does anyone know?
Anna Panesi says, wow.
Oh, hello, Anna.
It's going to be a big change.
It is going to be a big change. It is. It's very exciting. New hair is exciting. Isn't it, Anya?
Yes.
Yes. And also cutting off all this colour. So you won't be rocking out at school with a whole lot of copper balayage. sure that goes right through. Just that ear's in the way. I'll chop it off right through into the front. So you want to make sure you've got really fluid sections all the way through. And it really is not going to be long, and we're going to be out of length.
Louisa says it really looks so cool on you.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit more elevation again, using the wide teeth so I don't use too much tension, but I'm using that elevation, okay? But I've got that understanding of my technique. I've got that understanding that if I pull the hair out at 90, what have I done? I've layered it. I've stopped that gradual, really nice, soft, well, heavy, because it's horizontal, build up of weight. So you need to make sure when you're picking up the hair, I would suggest combing from your new section rather than picking it up from the bottom and elevating up that way. Because if you pick it up that way, you run the risk of elevating too much and layering the hair. Also, it's really nice to have nice, clean tension on the hair that you are about to cut. Yep. So I don't use horizontal grad a lot. Some people use it all the time. I know at Mooney Ponds Bieber, they're quite big on their horizontal grads, but yeah, it's for me. It comes in and out of vogue, but I need a purpose to do something, and this really is giving me that purpose because I want to add that little bit of extra strength. Oops, head down, darling. Okay. Look, I just chopped a little bit of your Wolverine off. A tiny bit fit in through there. And this side. I think the point cutting is going to be nice for the texture of Anya's hair as well, because she has got a little bit of a wave. And so I think just that pointing for someone that's, not going to spend a lot of time styling their hair, Anya's a very busy person. I think that point cutting is going to lend itself to more of a wash and wear feel. Grab all that hair. Okay. Come back around. It's she's like, it's coming off fast. It is coming off fast. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes. How's it look?
Amazing.
Oh, so good. Power of a haircut, hey?
Yeah.
This is what the clients are going to feel like when everyone gets back into the salon. They're going to be like, yes. So excited to see their hairdresser. Okay, so let's bring this last section down. Comb it into its natural fall. So if I want to comb something into its natural fall, I instantly revert to my wide teeth because I'm going to have less tension. If you want to sort of aerate the root and not force it, this is going to force it into a direction, and this is going to be a little bit more natural. So using that wide teeth to let that hair rest into its new position. And then this is our last section. So we'll pop that head down a little bit in that same position. And we'll pick this up and we'll point cut. That last section into this graduation. So a great technique for somebody with finer hair that's looking for a stronger shape. That to me is when horizontal grad really shines, and that's when it's my favorite. I mean, everyone's different, but that's when it's my favorite time to be using this technique. back. Okay. And I think that's majority of the length.
Oh my
What
god.
do you think?
It's faster than I thought. It looks amazing.
Mummy's faster?
It looks so good.
Look at that. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yay. So now we need this fringe. And I think having this corner here is going to it's going to make this look really long in through here. Yeah? Okay. So because we're going to establish a new fringe shape, I might actually do a little bit of that while it's damp. So we'll just get you to sit up. You can pop your feet up there, darling. Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Pop your head up. Okay.
Alex says, I'm so jealous.
I know.
Mansfield said, oh my god.
Oh, Bernice, hello. Oh, everyone's here.
Dana Reynolds said, oh my god, I'm missing a live on a human.
Hey, Daniel. Yeah, everyone's very excited, Anya, and probably very jealous. I mean, I can't even. Bernice Mansfield, the last time I cut Bernice's hair, it was probably shorter than this, and I think it's. How long is it now, Bernice? I can't. It's completely insane. It really has been the time that everyone's grown their hair. I mean, I look like my dad. Don't you think I look like Granddad?
No, not at
Or
all.
like Jesus or something? It's a bit Jesus-y. Okay. Down.
Said, yeah, it was past my shoulders.
Wow. Okay, so I take out for a fringe, I take a triangular shape. That's my kind of shape that I think fits really nicely around the head. And then from there, I can add in more in the sides. But you don't want to add too much from the start. You don't want to go too far back, because once you've added too much into the fringe, it's going to be really hard for your client to be growing that out. Okay. So pop your head up and just close your eyes. I'm just going to comb it into natural fall. So it's a really good idea to do an assessment of your client's scalp if you're going to cut on skin. The same with down the back too. I mean, I'm quite intimate with Anya's scalp. I know all about it. But if this was a client, you might be missing things like moles and raised freckles and things like that. So it's a good idea to really use your comb as a tool over the head. And I'm actually literally just feeling as well on that scalp and feeling on that forehead, because you don't want to cut a mole. It's bad. Okay, pop your head up and close your eyes. That face. And I'm going to just take a little bit of this length off now, and then we can dry it to shape and we can refine it again afterwards. If you want to add your comb there just for a little bit of stability, and come and all these little baby curls. And again, using a pointing technique. Just to come and extend that fringe over in the corner there. And you can see how that really like opens up that sort of bone through there, Anya. And I feel like it's quite a positive thing when you bring that corner out. Brush your little eyebrow up. And we'll come through this side. Okay. So we'll repeat the same thing here. I'll come through using a pointing technique. So we'll establish through the center. I can hear music.
Yeah, what is that? It's funny music.
Yeah, is it? Okay, and then we'll come through and we'll use the comb and we'll cut through this side. Okay, close your mouth, close your eyes. I'm finished. Okay, got this side. Point, point, point.
I feel like it's going in my nose.
It's going up your schnozzer. Is it?
No, probably not.
Okay, let's have a little look. Turn around. Okay, so I've got a mirror here today because, you know, this is like the real deal on a real person. So I can spin around and have a look in the mirror. Now comb it down into natural fall, and then you can see where it's a little bit heavier in through here. So close your eyes for me. So I'm just going to take a little bit off through here, still using a pointing technique. Just cleaning that up, just that little bit. And we will refine it again when it's dry, but just to make sure you've got that balance on that shape before you start drying it. Take a little bit more of these baby bits out. Oh, look at that. All right. So I think we're ready to dry. We're going to have to do a little bit of shaping through these layers and stuff through here, but you can see what a difference. We now have a bob. What do you think?
It's way faster than I thought. It looks amazing.
Like faster as in like I'm a faster cutter?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. This is good. It's great when you surprise a client. So I might put in a little bit of leave-in. I'm going to keep the products really soft for Anya, so I don't want to add too much. Oh, look at that. I like it tucked.
Yeah.
That looks so nice. Okay.
Fraser says, I love it.
Yes. What a fresh change. Okay. And I'm going to start through the back. I'm going to use Old Faithful Baby Paddle. And let's start wrapping it forward. Yeah. Everyone loves it, Anya. Okay. Let's dry it forward. Pop your head down. So wrapping forward. I think it looks cool, but it's also just going to be really functional. Like functional. Is that a word? Functional? Functional. It's going to be functional. It's going to be good for getting ready. It's going to be good for summer. Everyone should cut their hair off. You want to sit up straight? That's okay. Probably what I'm doing. Are you copying me? So we're still going to have a few little shorty bits through the front, but it won't take long and they'll catch up. Don't you think, Anya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks nothing like a mullet anymore.
Nothing at all like a mullet. And people think once they get a mullet, that's it. There's no other haircut you can get, but look at this. So I think it looks nice. You've just got a little bit of that 7744, that little bit of copper in the fringe. Apart from that, oh, Anna Panessi's asking. Anna, this is from Baleen, painted it. You should contact her on Instagram. Baleen, who works at Fleet Street in Northcote, works with Blushco. She actually painted it for me. You can see on her Instagram. Have a look at it. I'll send it to you, Anna. Yeah, one of our students, Baleen, I think as well won the Bieber Next Level. Yay! So wrap, wrap, wrap. And then we're still going to have to maybe chop it up a little bit more at the back because it's still a little short at the front, but what a difference. Oh, cool. We've really got this high-tech thing going on, Alex, don't we? What are we going to do without the live?
51 twice with 3 barbering hair.
One twice. Wow. That's incredible. So when I'm wrap drying, I really control the air with my arm. So I try and not to put too much stress and heat on the hair. I mean, hair is so delicate, and a hair shaft is just so, like, on its own is so fragile. So I mean, I sort of feel like if I can't put the heat on my hand and hold it there for a very long time, I shouldn't put that amount of heat on the hair, because hair is a lot more fragile than my old skin, I think.
Do you think a mullet's harder to do?
A mullet?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Do you think this was easier to do
Yeah.
from Mummy? Yeah. I think the mullet, I don't know. I think for me, all haircuts are the same amount of hard or not hard. I mean, oh no, that's not true. I think from a one length, like a bob, is very challenging because I always feel like there's nowhere to hide. It's either straight or it's not straight,
Yeah.
you know? And you're in control of that. So everyone's gonna come and ask for onion bobs now. Yeah. Everyone came and asked for onion mullets last time. So I'm smoothing out the ends, but I'm just still being respectful of the hair and holding that dryer away a little bit. Okay. So let's continue cutting. So the first thing I'll do is we'll get this internal texture where we want it, and I think it looks more bobbish when it's tucked. Do you think too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because it's still got that little bit of shortness in there, so I think it actually looks really nice tucked, and that's helpful because that will be great for school. So pop your head up a little bit. Check that balance through here. I might just kind of come through and just take some diagonal sections, and I might just pick this up, and through these corners I'm going to point cut. So I'm just creating a little bit more of a join between the back and the front. So it's a diagonal forward section, and I'm elevating and just breaking up that weight line a little bit so it's not too heavy between the back and the front, that was still layered from Anya's ultra cool mullet, which we've just killed. Death to the mullet.
So good.
And pointing. So whenever you're point cutting, you want to point cut on top of your fingers. Pick this up and just work that thumb along the section. And this is just helping to add more movement. And the only way to check this is visually. This is a visual technique. So whenever I want to do a visual technique, I need to do it on dry hair so I can visually check it and watch what I'm creating. Because you can really destroy a shape very quickly if you're not sort of watching what you're doing. Okay. that up in there. And then we'll come through this side. We'll do the same sort of thing. So diagonal forward, pick this up, and point cut. If you can't get your arm around that way, I would suggest standing in the front of your client, like this, and bringing it up that way to repeat the same as the opposite side.
LNA said a 2021 take on a 1920s block, perhaps?
Yes. It is. It has got that real 20s feel because of that shorter front. So elevate. Oh, so pretty.
Yeah.
I actually really like the roundness of it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it's really cool sometimes to work a shape into an existing haircut, because that haircut that was already there has kind of added a different element into it.
Bernice said she loved her modern 20s block. You gave it back in the day.
I remember that, Bernice. I think we did it down in Swanson Street. You were sitting in the corner. And I think Tom White maybe had just coloured it, if my memory serves me correctly. I could be totally wrong. All right. Let's just assess now this fringe. So comb it down, be true and honest about it. Don't try and push it into somewhere else. So we'll go like that. Pop your head down a bit. Okay. Okay, now up. Now I'm going to come through and I'm just going to take it a little bit shorter through the center. And just chop it up a little bit more. Close your eyes. Yep. Just going to change my scissors. I think my Eugenes have just given up. We're moving on to Frank. All right, head up. So taking a section. Oh, that's better. And I'm just going to bring this up a little bit more. Is that ticklish? Is that tickle? Keep your mouth shut. This is when you're going to be like so happy that mummy told you not to put lip gloss on. Because right now this would be stuck all over your lips. It's like this thing. People love putting lip gloss on before they get a fringe trim. Head up. Come on. Okay, I'm just going to point up into it. To break it up that little bit. We could take it just a tiny bit wider in through there. Just bring down that last little bit. Head up. And anything that fits, let's point that off. But yeah, you want that length to sit over the top because we're going to continue growing that. Nice. Head up. We'll come through this side. We'll repeat the same thing. So I've taken a cross section through some of the fringe that I've cut and around the side, in through here. And we're going to refine that. So I might actually do it from this side. And just bring that length up a little bit through the center. Close your eyes for me, Anya. So you can see that weight. Just going to refine that. And this is the tickly bit. Okay, I'll take that off really quickly. And around again. Kind of chopping it up a bit. Yeah, it just kind of makes it look a little bit more lived in if you chop into it. And then we'll drop this, see what sits over. We're going to add that little bit more in, but not too much. It's that fine line. Head up and close your eyes. So even if I wanted a really blunt fringe, I would be point cutting my shape. I would be doing a smaller point cut if I wanted like a laser precision fringe, but okay. Close your eyes. Head up. So a fringe is essentially a one length. So when you've got your one length through the back, you would tilt the head forward to see if there's any excess graduation through your line. For me, I do the same thing with a fringe. So I've got my fringe. If I want to really refine it, I would tilt the client's head back, and then in the mirror, I'll be able to see where it might just be a little bit heavier. And that's where I know I need to just do that little bit of pointing. And I'm happy with that. Okay, now this top section, because it was a big mullet, this hair has not been cut. So I'm actually just going to point cut this a little bit flatter so that it adds that just a bit more of a width and a squarer look through this top. So we'll just pick that up and just right in the center here, I'm just going to square that just so it pushes out the side a little bit. So when it keeps growing, it's going to grow in a squarer shape. Okay, and now we need to refine our line at the back. So I'm just going to get rid of all this hair. Close your eyes. Okay. And let's spin around and have a look at this line. Pop your head down. So using your wide teeth, I'm going to comb this down so I can see exactly what's happening on the perimeter. Now, don't forget that you introduce some graduation. So you're not looking for a perfect one length line, okay? So if I looked at this and forgot that I'd used horizontal grad and came and did my line up to there, I would ruin that really beautiful build up of weight. So instead, I'm just going to point cut and refine this. Now also, I would be sort of hesitant on a smaller person to pull out the clippers really quickly to clean off anything. So it is a good idea, if you can, learn to sort of run those scissors over the skin just to refine that hair. Because I mean, you'll even find clients that are very anti, well, not very anti, but sometimes clients don't want you to use the clippers. So it's a good idea to sort of still practice those techniques of doing it manually with your scissors and comb. Okay, we'll just jump over here. Whoop, head down again. That's okay. And we'll just point this a little bit. Straighten up that line. And then we're coming around to this side. Come around here. Just want to make sure, I think realistically it's going to be tucked behind the ear most of the time. So I want to make sure it looks really good when it's tucked and not tucked. And I think that's something that a client would really appreciate. And you're going to find that out in the consultation. You know, if your client is going to tuck or not tuck, it's a really key question. I'm just going to come through here. Just turn your head around that way, Anya. Thank you. Just going to bring this just a little bit off here. So we've got that strength right in that corner there. That looks good. Yeah, see, the temptation to add all of that in the fringe is really strong, but I want to grow this. I think we need to grow this down into the length. You don't want to get too, because if you end up putting it all in the fringe, you'll be back where you started. Okay, we're going to come through this side and we'll do the same thing. Refine this hairline. And then we're nearly done. How's that, Anya? Second last live.
Unless we do go back in lockdown.
Unless we what?
Unless we do go back.
Oh, we're back in lockdown. And then what are we going to do to your hair? Mohawk. Mohawk. Yes. Bring this down. Okay. And I'm just going to bring this one up a bit here. And just this little one here. Just bring him around a bit long. Got a bit of a curl.
Yeah. Same with the other one.
Yeah, you got your little curls at the front. I like these, like some of these little bits dripping over. What do you think? Do you like those?
I don't know if I do.
You don't know if you do, but you're being very nice, aren't you? You don't want to make mommy sad. No. You're the best client ever. They'll sit over there though. Yeah? Better? Yeah. How you feeling?
It looks amazing.
Are we still friends? Yeah? Okay. Let's take this off and then we're going to put some product in it, Anya. Okay. Oh, Anya. You're blowing up. Okay, get all of that off. Head up, darling. All right. Now, a little bit of product. I'm going to put in a little bit of Dry Me just to sort of rough it up a little bit so it's not so clean for Anya. So this is like a dry shampoo, which people always think to just use when their hair gets greasy, but it's actually quite a cool little styling product to take that freshly washed look off hair and makes it look a bit more lived in. Then I think we could go through, because what about we put a little bit of Glam Mist in? Okay, so we'll put some of this in. So this is like a shine spray. Yeah, sound good? Yeah. We'll put a bit of that in because that'll sort of add a bit of shine to it. So we'll do a tuck, and you've got all these bits. Oh, and it's spitting on your face. I reckon we mess that fringe up a little bit like this. Okay. And I think we're done. What do you think?
It looks amazing.
All right. So we'll do a quick recap. For those of you that did not know, Anya had a gnarly mullet. It was like down to here. And we cut it last lockdown, and we really went to town. Anya wanted a mullet, so she got a mullet. And this time we wanted to cut it off and convert it into something fresh and new. And so using technique, we've created a line. We've point cut the line to create more of a blend between the back and the front. And we utilized some elevation so that we introduced some horizontal graduation. So that helps this to sort of sit up and then push this hair forward. So we will create a bit more of a join between the back and the front. Okay, and pointing is going to help too, because this whole front of this mullet was really textured. So if I came through and I blunt cut this, it would have sat too heavy and solid, and it would have blended with the front. So we've created a one length point cut and some horizontal graduation. And horizontal graduation is a great thing to do on a client that has finer hair. And I mean, not traditionally, but usually kids have finer hair. So it's a good idea to use that horizontal grad. And you're a kid still. Yeah. To use that horizontal grad to create that shape, but without it getting too graduated. So it's a nice simple way to graduate through there. And you can see we've still got a few little shorter bits in here from that mullet, but I actually really love it. I think that it's made it look a bit more textured and a little bit more lived in, a bit more unique. Yeah. The other thing that we did with the fringe is we extended the fringe back, and that has really opened up Anya's face, and it's taken away the roundness that was there. And I think that roundness was making it look more mullety too. So by adding this really like this corner up in here, it's almost like a little like opens up this eye socket, and I just think it opens up your whole face and it looks really good. So I love extending those fringes in through there. Make sure that you're pointing your fringe to sort of soften it at the end, because I think it just takes it somewhere and makes it look really special if you point cut through your fringe at the end. And that's it, everyone, for today's live. I hope that you have all enjoyed it. Thank you, Anya. You want to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye.